members of the graduating class, family, and friends, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, welcome to the 135th commencement exercises of the University of Connecticut. My name is Cameron Faustman. I serve as Associate Dean for Academic Programs and Research in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and it's my honor today to be able to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for both graduates of the Radcliffe School of Agriculture and graduates of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. I ask that everyone please turn off your cell phones. Will the audience please rise and join in the singing of the national anthem by twin sister members of our graduating class, Alyssa and Katie Lee O'Keefe.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much, and please be seated. I would like to introduce to you the members of our platform party. I ask that they stand as their names are read, and I request that the audience please hold their applause until I have introduced everyone. Dr. Larry Silbart, Vice Provost for Strategic Initiatives. Dr. Mary Holtz-Claus, Assistant Dean for International Programs. Commissioner Stephen Ravitsky, UConn Trustee and State of Connecticut Commissioner of Agriculture. Dr. Stephen Were Omamo, alumnus and today's commencement speaker. Dr. Gregory Wiedemann, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Dr. George Woodwell, honorary degree recipient. Dr. Gregory Anderson, Professor Emeritus and Nominator for Dr. Woodwell. Ms. Chantel Scott, today's student speaker. Ms. Jennifer Cushman, alumnus and representative of our college's Alumni Association. Dr. Michael Derry, Marshal for the university's commencement activities. My colleagues sitting opposite to this podium are the department heads and faculty members for our college and school. Additionally, sprinkled throughout the student section are marshals, who are mostly faculty members, and some staff who are adorned with the floppy beef-eater hats. I ask that all faculty and staff stand to be recognized with the others that I have just introduced. Thank you. Please be seated. On April 21st, 1881, the Connecticut's General Assembly established the Storrs Agricultural School. Charles and Augustus Storrs of Mansfield donated 170 acres of land and $5,000 in cash to the state of Connecticut so that the school could be created. The first class began in September of 1881 with 3 faculty members and 12 students. Today, our college boasts an enrollment of more than 2,000 undergraduate and graduate students with more than 260 faculty and staff. We are proud of our students' accomplishments and believe that it is essential to provide an opportunity to hear from one of them today. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the student who has been designated as the representative of the graduating class. She is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and has pursued a major in Allied Health Sciences. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Chantel Scott.
Good evening. First of all, let me say, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to speak in front of you all tonight. We are all connected through the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. We have chosen to dedicate our lives to health, the environment, and the overall quality of life. The opportunity to represent my graduating class is an honor, a privilege, and a very humbling experience. A special thanks is in order to my wonderful academic advisor, Ms. Marianne Morris, who has gone above and beyond her call of duty. She has been a huge support during my 4 years here. She nominated me to give this speech and is the reason I stand before you all tonight. The College of Agriculture and Natural Resources and the Allied Health Department gave me this opportunity to share a little piece of myself with you all. Since we embarked on this undergraduate journey roughly 8 semesters ago for some of us, we have all endured many obstacles, from tasks as simple as learning to wash clothes, time management, and guessing on quizzes that we forgot we had, to falling in love with the right or the wrong one, to more serious events such as losing loved ones. We have overcome so much in these short years, it seems like each year has passed a little more quickly. The hardest part, the biggest adjustment, the first step has been taken. From our experiences here at UConn and in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, no matter how good or how bad they may have been, we must all be better people. We often talk about how good or bad things are in the world and what's all wrong with it, but talking won't get us very far. We must be the change that we want to see in the world. Be the person that you needed when you were lonely to someone else. Be the teacher who cares that you don't understand. Be the comfort to someone who is hurting, the strength to someone who is weak. Spread some hope, share your story, spark a smile. Here's my story. I was offered a full scholarship to attend this institution as a member of the women's track and field team. It was a rough first couple of years for me as a student athlete. I was running slow. I started to give up on myself and began to just go through the motions. Sophomore year, I got a call about 6 a.m. that shook my world. My father died in a house fire. Then over Thanksgiving break of last year, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and I've never seen anything progress so fast. I lost her last March. I could have easily dropped out of school, but I endured. Since then, I found a drive to be the best person I could be in every way. I wasn't just living for me anymore. I was living for the pride that my parents had always shown in me and living for everyone who believed in me to persevere. I had to learn that when I thought I was trying, I wasn't. I had to learn how to just do, how to dig a little deeper and push a little harder. I had to learn that happiness is a choice that you have to make and not something that you just stumble upon. I've managed to maintain my grades foremost through it all. I've made significant improvements on the track as well as off of it, and I've grown as a young adult. I now lead my team as one of 3 co-captains. I want to say thank you to the university for supporting me through my endeavors and helping me to overcome each obstacle. What more can we ask from a collegiate experience aside from learning, whether it be through books or life experiences and growing up? Not just thinking we're grown, but from actually being that. My goal in life, no matter what happens after I leave UConn, or whatever the next step is on this winding road that we may call life, is to be a pillar of strength and a beacon of hope to all those I encounter. If I can finish school, keep living, and stand in front of you to tell my story and smile as I tell it, I can overcome any adversity. We all can. So let's all be better, excellent, greater, smarter, and stronger. Let's change things. One smile, one shared moment, one sternly shaken hand. One lent dollar, one held door, one I don't understand, but I'm willing to try. Let's embrace change, knowing that we have learned to roll with the punches of life. Let's all be the change that we want to see in the world. It starts with us, collectively. Let us be the change. Thank you all at the University of Connecticut and the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. My advisor, Marianne Morris, my coach, Clive Terralong, my wonderful family who's here supporting me, and some lifelong friends I picked up along the way. Congratulations, College of Agriculture and Natural Resources 2014 graduates. We made it.
It is an academic custom that those that have excelled in science, letters, the arts, or have served humanity through writing or their acts should be appropriately honored. Today, the university and our college is to award one honorary doctorate at this ceremony. The citation will be presented and degree will be conferred by Vice Provost for Strategic Initiatives of the University, Larry Silbart. The candidate will be presented by Dean Gregory Wiedemann, Board of Trustee member Stephen Ravitsky, and the Honorary Hooding Marshal, Michael Derry.
Thank you, Cameron. Before awarding our honorary doctoral degree, I'd like to take a moment to extend my congratulations to our graduates and their friends and families, and to wish a happy Mother's Day to all of the moms in the audience one day in advance. Today is a day for handshakes, hugs, high fives, and of course, selfies. But on behalf of the Provost's office, I'd also like to extend congratulations to the faculty, staff, and administrators of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources for the progress they've made over the past 2 decades. Not only has the college nearly doubled in size, it has grown into new areas that have added linkages that will allow us to better understand both health and disease. Under the visionary leadership of first Deans Kerr and then Greg Wiedemann, who's with us today, the college first embraced and welcomed the Department of Allied Health Sciences in 2006, and now prepares to welcome its 9th department, kinesiology. Understanding the contributions of food, nutrition, and exercise to our health is critically important as we move into the 2nd decade of the new millennium, and represents one of society's most challenging and vexing problems. But understanding the impacts of human activities, including agricultural activities, on our natural environment is every bit as important. And striking this balance through research on environmental sustainability and resilience is all the more critical. I'd also like to congratulate the college in one other regard, and that has to do with the students before us today. Even though the college has grown, it has remained special with regards to how it treats its students. through advising, club activities, events like the Allied Health Sciences Senior Dinner, outreach through cooperative extension programs, and the daily interactions of faculty and staff with students, our students know that they are not just taught, but are cared for. This student-centered philosophy gives the college a warmth that is something palpable, and you'll see some outward manifestations of this as the students accept their diplomas today. We hope that our students reflect back with fondness not just on their challenging courses and academic achievements, but on their experiences outside the classroom as well. Together, we are changing the face of UConn and becoming a vibrant community of scholars, both inside and outside our classroom walls. We now turn our attention to our honorary degree recipient, Dr. George Woodwell. Proper stewardship of our environment requires sound science and vigilance for documenting changes that could harm our collective quality of life. Dr. George Woodwell, co-founder of the Environmental Defense Fund and founder of the Woods Hole Research Center, you are honored today because your career has been dedicated to ensuring that future generations will enjoy the benefits of a healthy environment. A native of New England, you earned your Bachelor's of Arts degree from Dartmouth College in 1950 and your Master of Arts and PhD degrees from Duke University in 1956 and 1958, respectively. In addition, you hold honorary degrees from Dartmouth College, Duke University, Carleton College, and Williams College. As the co-founder of the Environmental Defense Fund and the Natural Resources Defense Council, you worked early on with these groups to ban the use of DDT in the United States. Additionally, you are a founding trustee of the World Resources Institute and served as chair of the U.S. World Wildlife Fund. From 1957 to 1961, you were a faculty member at the University of Maine. Thereafter, you served as an ecologist at the Brookhaven National Laboratory and taught at Yale University. In 1975, you left Brookhaven to found the Ecosystem Center at the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole. In 1985, you established the Woods Hole Research Center as an independent institution free to deal with the great issues of environment, especially the biotic causes and effects of climate disruption. For more than 50 years, you have written and lectured widely on environmental topics ranging from details of the ecology of plants, including physiology, forest ecology, the distribution, hazards, and persistence of DDT, the ecological effects of ionizing radiation, and the biotic causes and effects of climate disruption. Books that you have authored or co-edited have included The Earth in Transition, Patterns and Processes of Biotic Impoverishment, Biotic Feedbacks in the Global Climate System, and Forests in a Full World, among others. Your expert peers have recognized the impacts of your discoveries and scholarly writings have had in the field of ecology. You are a fellow of the American Academy of the Arts and Sciences, a member of the National Academy of Sciences, a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and a fellow of the Ecological Society of America. In 1996, you were selected to receive the Heinz Environment Award, and in 2001, you were honored with the Volvo Environment Prize. Dr. George Woodwell, to honor your lifelong commitment to excellence in the field of environmental science and your scholarly efforts to bring the relevance of critical observations and discoveries for implementation into the discourse of public affairs, we welcome you to our campus on this Commencement Day, May 10th, 2014, and proudly confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Be a lot easier. Well, it would save a lot of time if we hadn't. Well, that was a very generous introduction of me, I must say, Dr. Silbart. That was very fine, and thank you. I've had a magnificent day visiting northeastern Connecticut, touring with a wonderful naturalist who seems to have nominated me for this distinction, and I'm thoroughly pleased, of course. So thank you all, trustees, faculty, staff, students, friends, and graduates. It's a delight and an honor, great honor, to be incorporated into your special day, the day when we salute you. You all know and will take on in life varied missions. Wherever you go and wherever you go in this century, you'll be addressing, in one way or another, the various disruptions of environment that you're reading about now. It'll be a century of climatic disruption, challenging virtually all precedents in politics, economics, and environment. It will be a century in which human birthrights will require defense as never previously. They start with the universal expectation that the first breath, the very first breath one takes, will be air, clean air, and that it will be suitable for life and suitable to be breathed again in the second breath and every breath henceforth for the next 75 or 100 years of your lives. And there will be water, also suitable, clean, free of any contamination. And food, healthful and nourishing, and also free of adulterants. And as your needs expand, as they will, you expect as a right equity among all your peers in access to those essential resources. A responsible government that recognizes those needs as rights from birth, expected and demanded by all, and whose protection, governmental protection, is the central role of that institution. Government has to act to prevent selfish interests from devouring those birthrights, dumping their wastes into air and water for profit, compromising the human birthrights from all sides. Wherever you go in this complex world, these issues will be before you and part of your business as a citizen. It's a big challenge growing every day. The ultimate challenge of civilization immediately before us all. Some of you will want to make it your special interest in life to work to protect life, the life support systems of the planet. I urge you to do so. You'll have a rewarding life, and in the process bring a bright new world of renewable energy, closed industrial systems that leak no toxins, and a world in which the human birthright is recognized and as inviolate. I wish you, in your own interest and the interests of your children and all to come, intensively active, useful careers and spectacular success in a new world open to your own making. Thank you.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Connecticut, and in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, it is my special pleasure to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science with all the appropriate rights, responsibilities, and distinctions pertaining thereto.
Congratulations.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce an alumnus of our college and today's commencement speaker. Born in 1963 in Kisumu, a then small town in western Kenya, Stephen Were Omamo studied at the University of Connecticut from 1986 to 1988, obtaining a Master of Science in Agricultural Economics. He had completed a BS in agribusiness from California State University, Fresno in 1986 and obtained a PhD in agricultural economics from Stanford University in 1995. Between 1996 and 2006, Omamo worked as a research economist with several national, regional, and international organizations in Africa, Europe, and the U.S., including the Kenya Agricultural Research Institute, the Association for Strengthening Agricultural Research in Eastern and Central Africa, the International Service for National Agricultural Research, the International Livestock Research Institute, and the International Food Policy Research Institute. Between 2006 and 2012, Omamo worked with the United Nations World Food Program, serving as Chief of Social Protection and Livelihoods, Chief of Food Security and Safety Nets, Deputy Director of Policy Planning and Strategy, and finally, Director of the Addis Ababa Office and representative to the African Union and UN Economic Commission for Africa. In 2012, Omamo joined the Alliance for a Green Revolution, AGRA, in Africa as Director of Policy and Advocacy. In this role, he leads AGRA's efforts to strengthen Africa's food and agriculture policy systems, focusing on catalyzing reforms and partnerships that promote a uniquely African green revolution. Please join me in welcoming our colleague Husky, Dr. Stephen Were Omamo.
Well, congratulations, class of two simultaneous national basketball champions. That's wonderful. I mean, even in faraway Kenya, we celebrated like mad, so I can only imagine what it was like here in Stores. The graduating class of 2014 in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, congratulations on your great achievement. I'm deeply honored and truly humbled to have been asked to speak to you on this most memorable of days. My message today is quite simple in a way. I want to share three hopes I have for you, and I want to make three asks of you. So 3 hopes and 3 asks. My first hope for you may sound like an odd one. I hope that you struggle early and that you struggle often. Now, why would I wish hardship and troubles on you? I'm sure you've been thinking we've been struggling for 4 years now. Well, because the more I see of the working world, the more convinced I am that early struggles are fundamental to rewarding careers. At the Alliance for a Green Revolution Africa, where I work currently, we have set ourselves a huge challenge. We want to catalyze a revolution in the way that agriculture is practiced and administered in Africa, such that by 2020, 20 million farming families will have doubled their incomes from farming, and hunger on the continent will have been cut in half. Now, anybody who knows African agriculture will know that this is truly ambitious stuff. but we are determined to do everything we can to make it happen. Now for that, and this is where the issue of struggle comes in, for that we need warriors on our team. Our ancestors knew, and perhaps we have forgotten a little bit, that there really is only one way to become a warrior, and that is to be tested and tested and tested again, and to fail and struggle through until one day you succeed. Now we have some awesome warriors at AGRA. Some are oldies, but quite a few are youngsters. Youngsters who somehow understood that they needed to put themselves into situations where they would have to do some very difficult things. And indeed, what a sight they are to behold. They walk into meetings and take over, take control, look around. This is my meeting. They visit farmers, traders, policymakers, and inspire these hard-nosed, very realistic people to ever greater efforts toward that uniquely African green revolution. They make me want to work harder so that I can be more worthy to lead them. So my hope for you is that very soon, you too will find ways to put yourselves into challenging situations that will leave you bruised and battered, and indeed, perhaps even cut up sometimes, but ever more ready to make a loud noise in the world. My second hope for you is somewhat more pleasant, I think. I hope that you come to know, embrace, and be embraced by many different kinds of people. You already know many people now, and you will come to know many more. But my hope for you is that you come to know many more kinds of people. The beauty of it is that you have chosen a wonderful profession in which to make such a wish come true. Agriculture is one of, if not the only, truly global profession. The issues facing agricultural professionals across the world are extraordinarily exciting at the moment. How to unleash the full potential of biotechnology and information technology to increase the productivity and equity of agricultural value chains. How to open up input, output, and financial markets to marginalized groups. How to increase, how to increase the quantity and quality of ground and surface water available to farmers in rural communities. How to buttress the vulnerability of these communities. And how to turn lofty policy aspirations to practical policy actions, and much, much more. So as you prepare to leave UConn, intriguing issues such as these are surely very much on your minds. You can be sure that across the globe, there are people, thank you very much, similarly consumed and excited. And so anywhere you go, you'll find people with a great deal in common with you, even if their lives look nothing at all like yours. And so as you build your careers in agriculture, as you address the many local and global phenomena that are rooted in or expressed through agriculture, I hope you find opportunities to embrace that huge diversity of people in our field. I hope you share your own dreams with them and let them enrich your lives and expand your horizons with theirs. My third hope for you is that you come to recognize your glory moments and use them well. In his great novel, East of Eden, John Steinbeck wrote beautifully of glory moments. Sometimes, he wrote, a kind of glory lights up the mind of a man. It happens to nearly everyone. You can feel it growing or preparing like a fuse, burning toward dynamite. It's a feeling in the stomach, a delight of the nerves, of the forearms. The skin tastes the air, and every deep-drawn breath is sweet. Its beginning has the pleasure of a great stretching yawn. It flashes in the brain, and the whole world glows outside your eyes. Then a man pours outward, a torrent of him, and yet he is not diminished. And I guess a man's importance in the world can be measured by the quality and quantity of his glories. It's a lonely thing, but it relates us to the world. It's the mother of all creativeness, and it sets each man separate from all other men. I love that passage. Indeed, it's the first thing I read out loud to the woman who would one day become my wife. While Steinbeck seems to imply that glory moments are relatively rare occurrences, I want to suggest that in fact there are at least daily events. I also want to suggest, and Steinbeck's characters show this very clearly, that you must be very disciplined to catch and use your glory moments. When you're in the glory and feeling like you can do anything, the temptation is to sit back and enjoy the moment, to go to a bar with friends, go to the beach. If you'll allow me a small indulgence, I will reveal that I have come to understand that my glory moments come early in the morning, and only then. So in my case, the temptation is to stay in bed, close my eyes, maybe stretch a bit, but not too much, and go back to sleep. My wife will attest to my going that way quite a bit. But don't get me wrong, it's fine to sit back and let the glory roll over you, gratefully acknowledged, but perhaps not exploited. But not always, not most of the time. So my hope for you is that most of the time, you will find a way to see these glory moments for what they are. Your time to dig out more and more of your gold, keep it bright and shiny, and put it to work to make a difference in the world. And now, class of 2014, to my 3 asks of you. My first ask of you is a very simple one. I ask that you plant something to harvest every year. In his lovely poem, Hoeing, John Updike writes, "I sometimes fear the younger generation will be deprived of the pleasures of hoeing. There is no knowing how many souls have been formed by this simple exercise." My experience is very much in keeping with Updike's point that the act of preparing soil and planting something that you intend to harvest connects you to the world in a way that is truly unique and soul enriching. Each of us can remember that science experiment where we completed, that we completed in elementary school, where we put a bean in a jar with blotting paper and water and watched it germinate and sprout over a few days. It was like magic. And indeed, it is magical. Is there a more lovely sight than a field of newly sprouting corn or wheat, or as in my part of the world, cassava? Not many, I would say. I'm sure that some of you are thinking, well, there's a small complication here. How can we plant things to harvest if, like most people, we live in flats and condos, not on farms? My answer is, you can still do it. Try this. Plant 1 bean in a small pot of soil and put it on your kitchen windowsill. I assure you that one day, as a rival has you at your wit's end in a difficult meeting, suddenly, out of nowhere, a voice deep inside you will declare to you, "So what? My bean is growing beautifully on the kitchen windowsill. The world is as it is." And you'll smile serenely at your tormentor and smoothly deliver the killer argument. My second ask of you won't surprise you, I think. Indeed, I would be remiss if I were not to ask you to find a way to plant something in Africa. Here, of course, I speak metaphorically, though a literal interpretation is also fine. I ask you to come. I ask you to come and join our revolution. At Agra, we know the battle will be a long one and that we will need all the help we can get. But we intend to be standing when victory is declared. As you plot your careers and make the big decisions that will define the marks you make in the world, I ask you to consider doing something that helps transform African agriculture and thereby propels that beautiful continent towards its full and immense potential as a force of global peace and well-being. My third and final ask of you is highly personal. I ask that you share your career with your parents, even if they have departed this world. It's exactly 4 years since we laid my father to rest in our home in Western Kenya. He was an extraordinary man, someone who was born a peasant and rose to become one of the most effective ministers of agriculture Kenya has ever known. I cherish the memory of him. Now, the reason I mention my father is that about a year after his death, I was going through his things and came upon a copy of a book I'd written and given to him as a gift. He was a great orator and was always looking for words and phrases to use in the many speeches he delivered. He therefore marked up just about any book that he read. As I flipped through this book, I found to my utter amazement that he had underlined something on almost every page. By then he had begun to lose function in his writing hand, so the lines were all squiggly. Sometimes, indeed, it looked like he had been trying to cross out whole sentences rather than underline them. But there was no doubting it. He had read every single page and every single word. And it was also clear that he had liked it a lot. The tragedy is that I had no idea. I remembered that once or twice after I gave him the book, he had mentioned it, and usually positively. But I had never asked him what he thought about this seminal achievement of my career. I wish I had taken that time. He surely would have replied with great pleasure. And I think both of us would have valued that conversation deeply. Our partners, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, these are our very important people in our lives. They are our first listeners, or at least they should be. But a parent, alive or departed, listens in a different way. I ask you to do better than I did with my father when he was alive. You will be richly rewarded by the wisdom and counsel that comes your way. So there you are, 3 hopes, 3 asks. My professor Boris Bravureta, who's sitting in that group over there, might approve if what remains of the statistician in me suggests that if I sum, rearrange, and integrate these 3 hopes and 3 asks, something greater than a simple aggregation might emerge. So let me try to do that as I conclude. Class of 2014, may you face some tough professional challenges soon. The warriors in you want to come out into the world. Whenever you can, plant something to harvest. Your warriors will be forever fresh, calm, and optimistic. May many kinds of agriculturalists come to know and value you. They will enrich and deepen your lives and your works. If you would, devote some of your energy and intellect to meeting and working with Africa's agriculturalists. You too could be one of this century's revolutionaries. And may you have the courage and discipline to recognize and seize your glory moments with regularity. Your inner treasure chests will overflow and help to shape history. Do take the time and care to share those treasures with your parents, wherever they may be. Their love for you is eternal. Congratulations again to you all, and thank you for this great honor.
Thank you, Dr. Omamo. Candidates for degrees will now be presented by school and department. Their names will be read by faculty members from the department in which they majored, and they will be congratulated by their department heads and the dean, and will process to the pavilion floor as directed by our marshals. At the conclusion of these presentations, Dean Gregory Wiedemann will acknowledge the students receiving honors. We will award diplomas to students by department and will begin with graduates of the Ratcliffe Hicks School. Photographs will be taken of our graduates as they are presented, and I've asked our marshals and events staff to please keep our aisles and floor clear for the passage of students. Please stay behind the plaza barriers and away from the pavilion floor if you wish to take your own photographs. Please be sensitive to those families members whose view you might be obstructing. Please do not remain on the plaza, but return to your seats promptly once a photograph has been taken. I will announce each department as their turn evolves, and we'll begin with the Ratcliffe Hicks School of Agriculture. It will take us just a minute or two to get ourselves organized, and then we will begin.
I'll move this down for you.
Is it on?
Right about that.
Where's Claude?
So I'll hand it to you. This one I'm done.
You just want to make sure you're right, not that far from the mic. Otherwise,
You tell me how loud it is from the
I'll let you know.
But usually I don't have it loud.
No, yes you will. You get the cards, well, let them know.
Ready?
You with the photographer? Yes.
Students from the Ratcliffe Hicks School of Agriculture's names will be read by Professor Sheila Andrew and congratulated by Dr. Patricia Jepson.
Ashlyn Chebro. Erin Biron. Caitlin Tracy. Jennifer Couture. Danielle Caro. Anna Cassell. Leah Wells Borough. Adam Histen. Alyssa Lambert. Heather Slattery. Katie Milodich. Grace Christie. Cody Armando.
The next students to be recognized will be those who have completed their major in agriculture and natural resources. Again, their names will be read by Professor Sheila Andrew, and they were congratulated by Dr. Patricia Jepson and Dean Gregory Wiedemann.
Michael Giappone. Adam Mason. James Gore. Mark DeSillis. Lindsay Kapowicz. Mackenzie White. Christine Turini. Kayla Ringet. Alexander Przgoda.
Our next group of students to be recognized will be graduates of the Allied Health Sciences Department. Student names will be read by Susan Gregoire, and they will be congratulated by Professor Larry Silbart and Dean Gregory Wiedemann.
He didn't say it. No, we didn't. I know. But you don't have to always hide it. Yeah, let's bring this up. Get up about that far from you. So you can read it.
Jessica Condon,
Say it loud.
Jessica Walter, Catherine Jablon, Heather O'Brien, Michelle Molina, Chantel Scott, Angelica Piera, Jamil Rencourt, Elizabeth Hernberg, Leora Shackett, Tracy Samia, Samantha Lynn Young, Kristen Ryan, David Ryan, Joanna Kota, Jihi Kim, Megan Damata, Van Vu, Mark Babineau, Sky Gallagher, Lena Starotovova, oh my gosh, Starotovova, oh my God, John Kelleher, Jennifer Kruzansky, Jamie Liner, Angie Wang, Stephanie Wong, Michael Procaccini, Michael Jensen, Catherine Stavola, Catherine Wazel, Christopher Hewitt, Emily Coffindaffer, Michelle Lynch, Catherine Mizowich, Jacqueline Adenolfi, Brooke Edwards, Chevelle Blizette, Jana Moxam. Ala Amin. Takina Pollock. Yamari Diaz. Eduardo Vergara. Jennifer Arnone. Raquel Nieves. Margaret O'Neill. Carolyn King. Allison Kearns. Shannon Lyden. Jason Breen. Liam Nguyen. Randy Scarrett. John Chen. Monique Dong. Mabel Lee. John Sturba. Jeffrey McCallum. Emily Tatro. Gretchen Volberg. Nicole Napierkowski. Edona Chetta, excuse me. Fanai Dixon. Rena Lee. Alex Chen. Brian Gomez. Taryn Bevins. Holly Poitras. Kelsey Masterson. Derek Brockhammer. Kira Hetler. Mark Lightower II. Kevin Howard. Sarah Balakrishnan. Annalise Chase. Chelsea Zara. William Morone. Kelly Smythe. Brielle Trujillo. Anne Chadris. Nicholas Foschini. Robert Manos. Frank Larada. Michael Esposito. Danielle Irvin. Aaron Good. Deanna Marie Brooks. Myrna Gurgis. Rajashri Rajadran. Anna Konopka.
Pronunciation?
Christina Zakili. Megan Gerber. Virginia Fisher. Allison Bedden. Lindsay Collier. Danielle D'Angelo. Kate Kelly. Rachel Damiani.
Readjust the cameras.
Kayla Vosberg. Cynthia Lanziolato. Mallory Honda. Jennifer Buden. Say both, just-
Miss Grace.
Grace Glennon. Nicole Weischner. Jordan Bebo. Jody McGarry. Christina O'Hara. Candice Guaglianone. Guaglianone. Shatali Bose. Rachel Saucier. Megan Burden. Pari Shaw. Cindy Algu. Matthew LaValle. Cassie Babcock. Elizabeth Mann. Lauren Shearer. Lauren Arsamont. Jeffrey Malhot. Caitlin Boren. Vanessa Bucheri. Amanda Shizzle. Martin Hairston. Caitlin Fitzpatrick. Lauren Haggerty. Florence Quee. Chelsea Wonsakowski. Michael Miko. Lindsay Ray. Michelle Carilli. Jamie Raposa. Bianca Gildia. Rafael Rodriguez Torres. Timothy Doyle. Kyle Copes. Julie Jehoda. Paola Suriel. Rashni Singh. Michelle Emmanuel. Michael San Angelo. Kyle Whizaker. Christine Gowdy. Laura Thibodeau. Marco Ribeiro. Melinda Gomez. Samantha Foley. Sarah Johnson. Emily Clancy. Lindsay Crush. Joshua Beer. Ryan Beach. Nicholas Amarante. You're the best.
Does your husband know about that?
Okay. Caitlin McAdams. Nicole Parker. William Hillebrand. Megan Thompson. Ashley Kane. Denali Graham. Sarah Case. Victoria Outhouse. Katie McLean. Mirella Collette. Michelle Martin. Colby Plaskowitz. Trisha Quarko. Tiffany Armas. Megan Knowles. Danielle Cox. Laura Checkaway. Jonathan Owens. Evan Goldberg. Terry Schlegel. Sean Walsh. Brigitte Mania. Catherine Chang. Justin Alexander. Zachary Coleman. Emily Hayes. Justin Giffen. Elizabeth Melchiona. Kevin Machi. Russell Bodertha. Stephanie Kalanta. Erin Colella. Santiago Alde. Keith Ringette. Danielle Daniel Flores.
Did it right, kid.
Nicholas Antico. Salinas Coombs. Taylor Heath. Daniela Alzat Molina. Angel Rodriguez. Tessa Baldi. Stacy Cook. Holly Grata. Alexandra Loria. Kelly Rios. Emily Hemming. Lindsay Haythorne. Lauren Stoddard. Adriana Menino. Denisha Smith. Congratulations. Say your last name. Shaz Jagan. Mackenzie Slane. Haley Hess. Ashley Stovall. Laura Caliolo. Vanessa Jaramillo. Andrew Callow. Samantha Loignan. Lindsay Hewins. David Nelson. Charles Johnson. Kenneth Volkel. Christine Moran. Sarah Parkhurst. Yay.
Our next group of students to be recognized are students who have graduated from majors in the Department of Agricultural and Resource Economics. Their names will be read by Dr. Benjamin Campbell, and they will be presented by Professor Rigoberto Lopez.
They'll tell you too.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll have them stand here.
Yeah,
If it looks funky, you just ask them, they'll tell you. And then you give her the cards.
No problem.
And if we can't figure it out, she'll tell you what it is.
I don't know how reliable that will be.
Yeah, so don't embarrass me.
Okay.
Release somebody out like that. That's a lot of names.
I don't know. Stay right here.
Kelvin Lee. Alvina Javid. Paul Claremont. Carlos Matos Brito. Patrick Golain. Causing problems. you may not get that degree. Latif Arnold. Michael Kilcourse. Shayla Jackson. Tristan Stewart. Kevin Hatch. Joseph Philbrick. Austin Swim. Robert Mancini. Christopher Dombakley. Stephen Filippo. Robert Bowers. Hayden Carnegie. Michael Robb. Shakim Phillips. Aaron Burns. Jonathan Zader. Alyssa Healy. Shaylee Desai. Kristen Fox. Jessica Matson. Sumitri Bajgai. Jonathan Condarino. Luke Federico. Courtney Carver. Connor Moody. Joseph LaPinta. John Georges. Matthew Bragano. Ryan Parmalee. Christian Kearns. Montana Hean. Brian Huff. Callan Sabatoru. Ian Desjardins. Clement Lee. Christopher Alvanos. Kevin Ferreira. Luke Bailey. Michael Augusta. Stephen Brown. Jordan Richard. Morgan Fields. Pervez Fardadine. Luke Owen. Chelsea Krockenberger. Jackie Liu. Samantha Graff. Camila Dina. Keller. Catherine Kelleher. Lauren Martin. Selena Wheatley. Emily Bergen. Jessica Freck. Gregory Sperling. Brant Harris. William Dean. Darcy Rose.
Our next department will be students from the Department of Animal Science. Names will be read by Dr. Robert Milvey, and students will be presented by Dr. Stephen Zinn.
Anthony Chocatas. Brandon King. Kelsey O'Donnell. Nicholas Ferraro. Lauren Stratas. Zachary Cosgrove. Cecilia Levine. Stephanie Watto. Crystal Parati. Eliana Alvarez. Jacqueline Thomas. J. Allen Cameron. Melanie Exley. Carolyn Card. Catherine Hermanot. Nicole Sandusky. Julio Rodriguez.
We're going to miss you, you know.
Melissa Kalopoulos. Sorry. Kiana Newmau. Andy Zugana. Jamie Chokarski. Jennifer Salter. Tanya Flower. Danielle Smith. Christina Raymond. Jacqueline Hojanaki. Anna Kernan. Isabel Knowles. Stacy Lindemeyer. Stasia Prosser. Catherine Fiore.
See you guys do this.
Jillian Phillips. Rebecca Fleischer. Kaylee Flock.
Read it. Jordan,
Jordan
Gwendolyn, Jacqueline.
Scheckman.
She wanted the whole part.
Louise Thompson. Rebecca Hasek. Gabrielle Lunganari. Ashley Donegan. Tracy O'Brien. Elizabeth Silva. Jamie Blanc. Kristen Poloski. Allison Bush. Paulo Zacco. Tessa Kalin. Ann Freeman. Alexandra Somales. Danielle Harrington. Parker Wilcox. Catherine Mayer. Caitlin Davies. Stephanie Rippish. Kayla Huther. Jasmine Crespo. Sarah Heidsman. Sarah DeAngelis. Sarah, come here. Carl Gunnefeld. Katie O'Keefe. Great job. Alyssa O'Keefe. Heather Jordan.
Our next major will be Environmental Studies. Names will be read by Dr. Jack Clausen. The diploma cover presented by Dr. John Volland, Department Head.
Long speeches. Long speeches.
Jordan Giaconia. Daniel Ulaco.
These students are environmental science majors.
Corey Van. Deanna Wilbanks. Jessica Rebholz. Ashley Durda. Alexander Jahir. Samantha Mello.
Tyler.
Aaron Kyler. Annalise O'Day. Scott Adamson. Max McLeichek. Andrew Brown.
Our next students are students from the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment. Names read by Dr. Jack Clausen. Diploma covers presented by Dr. John Vollen.
James Ruito. Caitlin Bazzini. Luis Organista. Nicholas Garcia.
Bring it in.
Brian Albert. Devin Spencer. Daniel Butler. Andrew Kavanaugh. Jenna Blessington. Brittany Waitling. Annie Stupik. Brianna Lechkin. Hannah Reikley. Good job. Paige Wilbur. Stephen Roberts. Kelsey Sullivan. Congratulations. Cecily Vervitostis.
Good try.
Amanda Lindquist. Joshua Tracy. Melissa Zarnowski. Catherine Kavanaugh. Jennifer Sargent. Thomas Miner. Kevin Riedemeister. Kaylee Morardi. William Riker. Stephen Hinks. Andrew Billich. Shane Casey. Colin Murphy. Matthew Gartska. Good job. Michael Davitt. Nicholas Dunn. Patrick O'Brien. Elizabeth Spramuli Gray. Joseph Fusco.
Our next group of students is from the Department of Nutritional Sciences. Names will be read by Dr. Hedley Freak, and Dr. Sung Koo, department head, will present diploma covers.
Ready? Julie DiGeronimo. Sarah Khan. Marilu Barrientos. Elizabeth Hogrefe. Jason Van Horn. Melissa Carpenter. Kristen Nash. Christine Fisher. Jennifer White. Taylor Hennessy. Samantha Beluco. Robert Oba. Melanie Sanchez. Danielle Rogers. Tiffany Gray. Carly Fox. Nicole Fresta. Alana Guida. Bethany Kowaleski. Teresa Parker. Casida. William Cassetta. Mo Yu. Shannon Thompson. Catherine Podgwaite. Jean Berlin. Michael Henning. Jenna Norton. Katie Lakotko. Alexandra Dagenet. Sabine Merville.
Our next group of students will be from the Plant Science and Landscape Architecture Department. Names will be read by Professor Mark Westa. Diploma covers conferred by Department Head Rich McAvoy.
Come up close so I can see where it is. Okay. Right in.
Dustin Nelson. Elizabeth Thorpe. Clayton Ludwig. Andrew Swift. Kyle Elmer. Zachary Brown. Patrick Purcell. Feeder? Daniel Feeder. Nicholas Hickman. Andrew Usher. Kelsey Duggan. Justine Leeper. Chelsea Sullivan. Lori Travato. Gregory Parisi. Brian Chamura. Joseph Avini. Ryan King. Timothy Moore. Nicholas Pinard. Elizabeth Roberts. Sebastian DePestre. Adam Wezalewski. Nicholas Flashbert. Scott Severs. Christopher Nunez.
Our next and final department will involve students from the Department of Pathobiology and Veterinary Science. Names will be read by Professor Sandra Bushmick. Diploma covers presented by Department Head Steve Geary.
All right, comfortable there?
Sure.
That's a good standard.
Thank you so much.
Jillian King. Casey McMahon. Erica Zanya. Lauren Henderson. Elizabeth Myman. Devin Micah Schultz. Julia Friend. Amy Hacker. Audra Brown. Tatum Marquis. Jose Della Espriella. Claire Hamill. Heather Welsh. Jeanne Grant. Andrew Salamino. Ashley Biazzi. Paisley Carson. Shannon Doran. Elizabeth Alexander. Philip Morera. Jennifer Warshaw. Allison Kane. Galen Sanderson. Benji Ding. Kevin Frisch.
Thank you.
Eric Kim. And Karen Chen.
Please join me in recognizing all of our graduates. It is now my pleasure to again introduce the Dean of our college and school, Dean Gregory Wiedemann.
Let me add my congratulations to each and every student who's graduating today. For all of this is a bittersweet day. We're very pleased to wish you well on the completion of your undergraduate journey, but sorry to see you go. However, wherever your journey takes you, you'll always be a Husky and a member of our college family. I'm pleased to recognize this year's students who have graduated with honors. Please permit me to read all of their names before acknowledging their outstanding performance. I ask that each student stand as their name is read and remain standing. Students that are graduating with honors this year are as follows. In Allied Health Sciences, Michelle Emanuel. John Thomas Kelleher. Katie Alice McLean. Catherine D. Mizowitz. In Diagnostic Genetic Sciences, Caitlin Elizabeth Walsh. In Animal Sciences, Zachary Thomas Cosgrove. Jasmine Nicole Crespo. Kelsey Lynn O'Donnell. In Dietetics, Mallory Gale Honda. In Environmental Science, Alexander Ryan Jahir. Samantha Lynn Mello. In Natural Resources, Andrew Joseph Billich. Annie Elizabeth Stupik. In Nutritional Sciences, Rebecca Rose Albanese. In Pathobiology, Elizabeth Marie Alexander. Elizabeth Joan Minehan. And Erica P. Orner. In Resource Economics, Emily Mary Bergen. Please join me in congratulating our university honors students. I'm pleased to acknowledge the following members of our faculty who are recognized by our college or university for their excellence in teaching, research, or service during the past year and who are with us today. I ask that they stand and remain standing until all have been introduced, or if they're standing, already standing as a university marshal, I ask that they hold up their hand. Again, we'd ask that the audience hold their applause until all the names have been read. The American Association of University Professors recognizes faculty excellence each year. Dr. Michael Derry of Animal Science Department and University Commencement Marshall was awarded the AAUP Service Excellence Award for his outstanding contributions to UConn throughout the year. Dr. Jack Clausen, Professor of Natural Resources and the Environment, was recognized this past year by the USDA Teaching Excellence Program. No more than 10 individuals are honored nationally on an annual basis, and this is the highest teaching award available to faculty in our college disciplines. Dr. Tom Meyer, Professor of Natural Resources and the Environment, was recently honored as a University Teaching Fellow, UConn's highest teaching award. The college's Kinsman Teaching Award for Excellence in Instruction was awarded to Dr. Kristen Gavoni this year. Dr. Gavoni advises and teaches equine-related courses in the Department of Animal Sciences. Dr. Thomas Hoagland, professor of 34 years at the University of Connecticut, has contributed extensively to the teaching mission of the Animal Science Department and was awarded our Alumni Association Teaching Excellence Award. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding faculty members. Students, now comes the moment you've all been waiting for, and your parents in particular have been waiting for. Please rise. It is now time to officially confer your degrees. And so, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Connecticut, and in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science or Associate's degree for which you have been presented at the 135th commencement of the university. I charge you now to assume fully the responsibilities of your new status, to enlarge upon the foundations of knowledge which you have acquired, to take upon yourselves the obligation of an enlarged vision, and to seek to do your fair share of the work of this world. You are now UConn alumni. You can move your tassel from right to left. Congratulations, graduates. I'm pleased to introduce the President of the University of Connecticut College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Alumni Association, Ms. Jennifer Cushman. Jennifer?
Graduates, you can go ahead and take your seats. On behalf of the university's College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Alumni Association, congratulations on your achievement, and welcome as the newest members of the UConn alumni family. As you venture in new directions, be sure you always keep connected with the university, college, and school, and with your classmates through the Alumni Association. We hope that you will consider helping us to ensure continued excellence in our programs in our college and school. Congratulations. Thank you.
Just a few final words, comments here before we conclude today. This event is planned and implemented largely by members of our faculty and staff, and I would like to thank our College Commencement Committee, faculty and administration, staff, marshals, event personnel, alumni, spouses, and student helpers. Also, I would like to thank Ms. Angela Salcido, our organist, for providing wonderful music today. Graduates, there is one final group of individuals that need to be recognized. They are your parents, siblings, grandparents, uncles, aunts, significant others, spouses, and children. They are as proud of you today as any time in their lives. Please join those of us on the floor in recognizing them. You have achieved a significant milestone, and I speak for everyone at our school and college when I say that it has been a privilege to be a part of your lives over the last 4 years, and in some cases, 5 or 6 years. The 135th commencement ceremony of the University of Connecticut's College of Agriculture and Natural Resources and Radcliffe Hicks School of Agriculture will now be concluded with the recessional of the faculty and platform party. We welcome you to rendezvous with your families and friends, but also ask that you do make your way out of the Gamble Pavilion as we have 3 additional ceremonies to prepare for tomorrow. My final request is that graduates and members of the audience please remain seated until the recessional has been completed. And remember, students today, nice job.